Check it.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
Brother Sid from Great Millstone, Atlanta. You know, we also got the brother from Memphis, Anna. You know, we're gonna start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
the honor to the apostle, the elders, Great Millstone. Shalom, to the Akim, the Christian word, the sincerity, and the truth. Yeah, this lesson is gonna go into spiritual power being all throughout the scriptures. You know, the Bible is a book of biblical records that's historically accurate. You have these different scholars that go into the scriptures, and then they'll see that Moses existed, David existed, Abraham existed. You know, throughout relics and through central locations within Israel, and they'll see that all the data adds up. But one thing that they can't grasp or manifest in today's time to actually get some type of evidence is spiritual power. Because what? Like it tells you in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, that faith is the substance of things hoped for. The evidence is evident, but it's evidence of things not seen. Now, okay, come on.
Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for.
So faith is a substance. The word substance is a compound word. Sub is under, stance is something you stand upon. But how can you stand upon something that's invisible? Whenever you think about something that's substance, you think about something that's materialistic, right? Yeah, that's a substance like wood. You know, it's a particular substance that you use to get across bridges. It's a certain thing that you can stand on to get from one direction to the next. But the scripture says faith, something that's not tangible, is a substance. Keep going.
It says, the evidence of things not seen.
It's evidence. It's evident, but it's a thing not seen. And see, in today's time, if you want to actually win a case or anything like that, you have to have tangible evidence. Some type of, whether it's footage or a witness, or things of that nature. That's what actually closes the case. But in today's time, I say back then, faith was, something that you couldn't grasp. Even today, you can't grasp faith today, so that's why most people don't believe in this. But you do have what? Witnesses. That's one thing about the scriptures. You have an abundance of witnesses, men, multiple men, hundreds, thousands of individuals in the scriptures that witness these events taking place. Holy men, as the scripture says, the ones that was anointed by the Spirit. And we're going to go all throughout these different scriptures in the Bible and show that these events took place, man.
Absolutely.
And they're going to take place now.
Yep. Which was really the fuel, the spiritual fuel for this lesson. Because the brother was sharing a dream that he had off camera, and it was dealing with spiritual power and deliverance by way of spiritual power. And when we read the scriptures from Genesis to Revelations, the scriptures continue to reiterate the point of spiritual power. Okay? The Lord never just delivered us on the Lord's not normal. The Lord is not, he don't deal with mediocrity. He deal with majesty. He deal with power. He deal with force. Okay? And when you read the scriptures, when men were in situations where there was no way to get out, there was always a majestic deliverance. There was always a spiritual incident that intervened with the impossible. Okay? To deliver these men out of these situations, which will also could come in these times that we live in now.
If I could bring out a precept based off the word impossible that the brother had brought out, because that's a true essence that we must have within this walk, is to understand that faith is based off the things that are unfathomable, based off like the brother was going into the witnesses. Like, we have clear examples of things that you couldn't have fathomed a man being able to do, but through the Spirit, Yahushua was able to walk on water, turn water into wine, and he had witnesses to see this, like, what happened.
His ministry was a ministry of spiritual power. The 3-year ministry was a ministry of spiritual power to compel the elect into belief.
I got this precept.
And the thing we'll see in today's time now, our people got brought so low that they can't even imagine anymore.
God.
word imagine goes into the images, that's basically culminated throughout your head, which is a form of, spiritual power. Because what those men, they imagine doing certain things, rescuing their people out of situations, and the Lord, through his majesty, like the brothers was, going into, actually using their vessel to enhance, actually have enhanced so-called extraterrestrial abilities, extra special abilities on this, earthly plane, so to speak. And they did so. They believed it and they achieved it. And others achieved it, other people witnessed. And what? Usually there was in the captivities, such as the Romans, where they didn't want that type of power to be shown. Same thing even now. That's why Esau goes out of his way to make sure that you don't really tap into the inner you.
Yeah, he toxifies your pineal gland.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's your receptor. Yes, for water. Calcifies it. It's because that's your receptor. Okay, to the Holy Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai. But you can get the precept, bro.
This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. And this is written in red for you, some. It says, but Yahweh Shai beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with Yahweh all things are possible.
So everything that brothers are gonna bring out in these examples, you have to get out of the realm of thinking of a man. You got to think of a man that is bestowed particular special gifts based off the Most High, man. The Most High is working through him. The Most High is showing you how great I am through this vessel. You got to be able to fathom these thoughts, man. How else was Yahweh Shai able to walk on water? How was Peter in his after Yahweh Shai had transcended, he was able to raise up the dead. These were spiritual powers based off what? Him being a witness to the powers that Yahweh Shai showed unto him first, man.
Paul did miracles too.
Come.
And the devil never wanted, like I said before, wanted that type of spirit to get out. Because when you go into Esau's kingdom, whether it was the time of Matthew, dealing in even with the Greek captivity, when Jake was doing miracles and things of that nature, it was effing Esau's money up. You had so many Israelites that was sick, like in today's time. Jake don't have Medicare. Jake has all kind of internal sicknesses that they can diagnose with. Alzheimer's. They have
Cancer,
bone or an organ sicknesses, deficiencies. Vitamin deficiencies. That's what was going, which the scriptures calls that possessed by devils, man. But like bipolar.
Yeah.
The word polar is two extremes. You got a spirit in you. You can go from hot to cold, cold to hot. That's what the scripture says, possessed by devils. And the Israelites, they was in the captivities jacked up. They didn't have Medicare and these different type of medical assistances, to actually get demons off them. And if so, Esau was giving them drugs.
Yep.
So and with all these different sicknesses today, showing you how spiritual the scriptures is. We're gonna get back into it, but all these sicknesses, none of them could be cured. They can only be treated with Western medicine. The only cure that really they say, one of the oldest cures, only cures that America actually had was like polio. Outside of that, they give you treatments. That's why you're always on drugs, and those drugs are expensive. I did a lesson on schizophrenia. Like that one girl on Omar, if y'all brothers remember, she was I'm gonna beat your ass on that girl had. She was schizo. It was an old video on YouTube. She was schizo, and she was basically going into it like, that happens to her. But people beat her down. But she was like, really, my head fucked up, and that medicine is expensive, But that's the type of spirits that Yahweh Shai was getting off of individuals. That's the point. And then Esau definitely didn't want that type of energy putting out, because that'll F up his medical system.
Yeah.
Now we don't trust in you, we trust in the living power. We don't have to go to you for the one of all things. We can go to the spirit for the one of all things. And Esau made sure that he kept that line severed, and he used sellouts, niggas that were lying, false witnesses, He used money because he brought Judas, and he seen the spiritual power, man. So we know.
Yeah, that was his way of concealing, we actually brought it out in Job 9:24. That word covering basically means to hide, basically, And so he concealed these things. He had to conceal these things because, if it would have came out, like basically if Jake would have realized we used to have power, then you know you can't tell a slave you used to have spiritual power. You can't tell a slave that you know you were once a great people. You were kings and priests of the earth. You know you got to diminish them, like, and tell them and constantly etch in their mind that no, you're a slave. You know you ain't, you know, degrade you.
Yeah.
You know.
Make you feel like you're subhuman. That's why they said that we were 3/5 subhuman. It took years for us to even be classified. Well, really, that's still in what, the Constitution. We're still labeled as 3/5 of that.
Reset.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
It's John 14:12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works.
surely, verily, verily, surely.
It said, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father.
Hey, that's a scripture that we always use to go into the greatness of the power that's going to be distributed in these times. Okay? He said, greater works I do. Mind you, the scriptures don't even record everything, all the works that the Lord did. And the Lord said, you're going to do greater than the things that's not even recorded. Okay? So that goes to show you a high level of spiritual power is getting ready to be distributed. And it's all throughout the scriptures. Okay? You had our forefather, Jacob, one of the patriarchs of our nation, wrestle an angel. You know how strong you got to be to wrestle an angel? Like, and his thigh bone popped out. And he still held on. He still wrestling with a thigh bone out of joint.
And for a whole day.
Right, for a day.
They literally get that. That's where they get the game of God of War from. Regular individual taking over gods and overthrowing.
Right.
Based off of it.
Well, you know, even the story with the, you know, gods in God of War, like Kratos, he's the God of War, and he's actually voiced by an actual black man, you know, so-called black man, Israelite. But you know, they have the gods that fall to the heaven, and he was wrapped up in chains. It tells you that in the book of Jude. You know, the angels that left not their first estate, you know, basically the Lord cast them down. And they tell you that in Greek mythology, you know, about different, you know, people that was sit down and they became demigods, so to speak. But that's all throughout the scriptures, man.
Yep. Hey, we are, hey, get Psalms 82. Ye are gods. You know, you got some more on that? Read it again, bro.
Start back from top.
Yeah, 14:12.
It said, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do.
Absolutely. And when Yahushua went back to the spirit world, he distributed that spirit to the apostles. And they began to go out on their apostleship doing miracle signs and wonders. And not only did they do miracle signs and wonders, they had spiritual power that was happening around them to deliver them out of situations. Okay? So going into the time of trouble that we see in the very, very near future, we have to understand the capabilities of the power that we serve. And through faith, nothing is impossible with Yahweh Shai. There's no situation where you can't be delivered from. There's not one situation where the Lord will say, I couldn't get you out of that. He can get us out of anything. And that has to be the mindset, you know, going right into the time that's going to overtake the world. If this is going to be the worst time that the earth has ever seen, then that means that this is going to be the time where some of the greatest spiritual power is going to happen too.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's what I said, with man, it's impossible. With the Messiah, everything is possible.
Absolutely.
And the Lord written his book. We already know everything that's going to go down. Really, that should boost our faith, seeing, because if all these things had to go down, this has to come at this appointed time. You shouldn't be scared of the left. Just watch how the right is going to work. It says Satan shall come down with great wrath, but it also speaks about how the Lord is going to lift up the standard.
Somebody over there, Isaiah 59:19.
It says, because I go unto my Father, and whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it.
See, it said if you ask anything in my name. So when all hell break loose and we run into these situations, because remember, it says that it's going to come upon all of them that dwell upon the earth to try them. So that means that we're going to be in very, very uncomfortable situations. But the Lord said, if you ask anything in my name, I will do it. So that means that it's going to take faith. If you're hungry and you ain't ate and you ask the Lord for food, the Lord, he can open up the heavens and rain down. He rained down the righteous bread.
But that good precept to
God.
go into what the brother said.
Go ahead, bro.
It's spiritual power and prayer first, man. That's where
Absolutely.
it starts.
Yeah, that's true.
This is Joshua chapter 10, verse 12. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel, and he said in the sight of Israel, Son, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Jalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon the enemy. So Joshua prayed to the Lord, like, Lord, allow the sun to stay here, allow the moon to stay here, allow my people to have the victory, deliver them into our hands. These are the prayers that he's asking, man. You gotta remember that Joshua was trained up by Moses. Moses, hey, he taught war, man.
Yeah.
All right.
But you know what? The average Jay could hear that shit, they be like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
A full 24
They will.
hours.
Because what? Jake doesn't have faith. You can't explain that. How can you explain 24 hours time, second of time, something is just being sat still, nothing is in orbit? That throws off the existence. You know, somebody that's in the science realm.
Yeah,
You know,
those off that whole.
It's crazy. Yep.
Just like borrow what I was saying, it says John chapter 4, verse 48. It reads, Then said Yahushua to him, Except ye see signs and wonders, ye will not believe.
Yeah.
See?
If I could say, so like I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I just
Yeah, I was gonna say, see, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is not bound by the rules of this earth,
the laws of
the
physics.
laws of physics.
There's really no such thing as laws of physics. When you do it, when you in the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
well, yeah, because what you have is it 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional? I think 4. I forget. It's
Yes,
something-
3D, 4D, 5D.
Yeah, but you have where basically Esau has his limitations according to his science, but the Most High proceeds above that. You know, even the dynamics of the chariots. Esau can't make this type, and he learns from the Most High's creations.
Right.
The Lord even created this whole thing and created this devil to be a carnal studying experience. He's like a virus that was brought from this earth to steal, kill, and destroy.
It's a limit.
Because we are all organisms.
Right.
You know, we're all so-called according to Esau through the spirit, but it's organic matter put together.
We good
Because the Lord,
bacteria.
good bacteria. Put together and compacted and put within the spirit, because that's how the Lord made us. But the Lord put Esau on the left to believe that, he just came up out of a big boom,
Right.
and it's his turn, to control the laws, from here on forth, and we deal with everything on the spiritual side, man. And it's going to be a clash like that. The Titans, it's going to be a clash of Titans, spiritual power versus carnal power,
Versus AI.
which will win.
Artificial intelligence.
AI versus
Spiritual power.
spiritual power.
That's
I
right.
got something.
Go ahead.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 5 and verse 10. It says, He that believeth on the Son of the Most High hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not on the Most High hath made him a liar, because he believeth not the record that the Most High gave
Hey,
his Son.
you gotta believe in the record that's written, man, from beginning to end. You can't, like the brother saying, you can't box in the potential of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Yeah.
Okay? Because that's why you're gonna be taken by surprise when these things happen, because you've been taught to put the Lord in a box.
Yeah.
The Christianity teaches you to put the Lord in a box, man.
Yeah.
Christianity don't teach you to think outside of the way of the world. It encapsulates your mind and it limits,
Yeah.
okay, the possibilities of the Most High.
Well, that's why they start reading, when they never read.
Right.
Scripture speak about blessed see that reader. Then they're not blessed, because they don't even get into the
They don't
scripture.
They don't even get into
They don't know the
it.
accounts.
Getting into the scripture should invoke you. It's supposed to be like a gateway. Like, people say gateway drug, you start off with soft drugs, then you go hardcore. They get really into them drugs.
Mhm.
That's becomes their life. This supposed to be like a drug, see. But them people, they just,
It's whatever. It's just whatever with them.
it's just a badge. Like, I'm just gonna slap that. I'm a Christian.
That's what the precept went into. It said, witness unto himself. You read that, Bible?
It says, he that hath the Son, it says, he that believeth not the Most High hath made him a liar, because he believeth not the record that the Most High
Read
gave.
up.
Okay. It says, he that believeth on the Son of the Most High have the witness in himself.
Yeah, it witnessing within himself. So you know these experiences through your own personal accounts, first and foremost. Every brother can think back to when Yahweh Shah was walking with you and you didn't even know his name. You was like, I don't know. It's like, that gotta be the Lord. But
Yeah.
you didn't know that was Yahweh Shah.
Right.
But so when the scriptures came along, yo, you an Israelite, you went through this because of that, you went through this because of that. It's like, yo, Lord been walking with me. Jake it's a pride that comes about you. That's what the scriptures is speaking on right there.
Yeah. And if, I'm gonna just skip down a couple of verses. It says verse 14, 1 John 5:14. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will,
Anything.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
it says he heareth us.
He heareth us. That's your biggest benefit being in the flesh, is that the Lord hears you. If the Lord don't hear you, everything else stops.
Yeah.
There's no spiritual power, because like the brother said, everything has to start with the prayer. Before you take the herb, you're supposed to pray.
Right.
You know? But what is a herb if you can't even bless it in the name of the Lord to help you? Okay? So the Lord said, if you ask anything in my name, that's step one. We're all going to be put in situations where we're going to be forced to specifically ask for help.
And that's
I need help out of this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it ain't gonna be blanket prayers.
Yeah.
Specific. I need, Lord Baba Koshad, please deliver me out of this situation, or please deliver my. You might be in a situation where soldiers are coming down on you, and they TTG.
Yeah.
Okay, trained to go.
Yeah, Elijah.
Okay, and like Elijah, they coming down with force. And you can ask the Lord, please deliver my enemies into my hand.
Yeah.
Please let not the enemy overcome me, but let me overcome the enemy in thy holy name. And the Lord will do it. If you ask anything in my name. So this is the level of comprehension we gotta have going into this time. Of understanding that the Bible is literally a book of recorded spiritual power.
Yeah.
This is the evidence of it. Because if we didn't have the scriptures, we wouldn't know a lot of this stuff. You wouldn't know that that Moses parted the Red Sea without
Well, you
the
wouldn't know any of this.
We wouldn't know none of this. Because all these other sources, they pretty much scratch. They don't keep the records. Our people kept the records.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wouldn't know how Samson slew 1,000 Philistines with a jawbone, man. Or Shamgar did. Shamgar did that too. Okay, what it was that ox gold. Okay, you wouldn't know about Gideon.
Benaiah.
Benaiah.
How Raphael came and was walking with Tobit and Tobias.
Right.
When he healed Tobit from being blind.
Yep.
He healed Sarah, which was Tobias' wife. She had the demon Asmodeus.
And then bound him.
Yeah.
In the wilderness of Egypt.
Yeah.
They had the power to bound Asmodeus.
Yep.
You know, so to this day, Asmodeus, that demons is bound in the wilderness of Egypt.
Yeah, casting out spirits. You know, actually, Yahweh Shah actually took demons out of one vessel and put it within the pigs, man. You know, and they went off the cliff.
Drowned. Hey, Yahweh Shah, which did.
Oh, you got that account? Okay.
Oh yeah, and Baba Koshad, man, brothers,
I had
get
some
these accounts.
Yeah.
You know, let's get into these accounts because this is the record that the brother just brought out. We got to get to the records. You know,
Yeah, because records is something that's recorded. You know, like now in today's time you have your records, your digital recordings, and it's laid out, it's published, so to speak. Like these words are published. They're made. Scripture speak about making the word public. Making it plain upon tables so that he may run that reader. All right, because we have the recording. But I wanted to go into this one thing, and I'm gonna throw it out, to the brother. You said you had a precept, didn't you?
Well, it wasn't a count, it was just like a sign.
Yeah, bring out that, and then let Barzal get into it. Just so
Okay,
hit that, then you get into yours. Right?
Okay, this Mark 16:17. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They should speak with new tongues. They should take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it should not hurt them. They should lay hands on their sick and they should recover.
We should be dead right now. Okay? The things that we put in our body, man.
Okay.
We might walk in miracles. Some of us probably got cancer and don't even know it. You know?
Dealing with COVID, with the C-19, let's not put that we ain't
Right.
gonna use that word. But the C-19 brothers done had it and got over it through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man.
And we got the daily, weekly.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and we really walk in testimony, man. You know, brothers then overcame certain things through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which is nothing short of a miracle. Okay, brothers, and it's gonna get even more extreme, man.
Right.
The things that brothers gonna get tall.
Yeah.
Brothers gonna probably be able to physically, you know, alter their image.
Yeah, shot did.
Yeah, the Lord altered his image.
Well, yeah, that movie Chronicle, and also the Power Rangers, where they actually, you know, his spirit basically directed them to the power, and after that, you know, they was running them up. And we're not saying that's gonna happen like that, of course, but when you watch these different spiritual, because you see, in today's time, most people get their impact and spiritual power from media, whether it's the Avengers, or like I said, Power Rangers, things of that nature, Superman, you know, which Superman, that comes from the scriptures anyway. The Apostle always go to that. Kal-El, which is all powerful.
And Superman, the word super means from above.
Mm-hmm.
When you look into the etymology of the word super, it means from above.
Well, you know, and it should speak about, I think, is he a Kryptonian? If I'm not mistaken, because a lot of times with them, yeah, Krypton, but a lot of times with those spiritual people, they come from outer space. Because really, what the hell is outer space? We live in outer space. Yeah. There is no, all right, outside of the earth is outer space. No, we're in outer space.
Yeah.
But the Lord planted us in, you know, which when He created the heavens and the earth, He planted us on this earth. And He put a certain, which I have that, God gene. Apostle R went into this too. He put the God gene in this.
Yeah. Yep.
The God gene hypothesis proposes that human spirituality, and this is on Wikipedia, is influenced by hereditary, and that a specific gene called vesicular monomy or VMAT2 predisposes humans towards spiritual or mystic experiences. And that's really the main point, you know, is basically dealing with the spiritual gene that's within you, because the Lord gave us a spiritual gene. That's why He even told us how to deal with our seed, you know, like don't marry the nations, don't do certain things, because we actually possess a certain gene. And He even speaks about, you know, not even having the women to even sleep with Esau, man. Because we have a particular, you know, makeup, so to speak, that the Lord has us. And it just, and what builds on top of that is just the belief in Yahweh Shem. That's like the connecting. You know, you have electrical currents, but you gotta have to connect. You know, for the spirit to be fully activated. And like I said, Esau knew that. It tells you that within the Apocrypha, the letter, I think it was I forget, Holofernes, he said basically we got to keep them away from their power. That's the only way we can take them down.
Judith the fifth.
Yeah, the book of
Judith the fifth chapter. I'll get that, and brothers can go ahead.
Yep. I got a quick precept. This is John going into dealing with the God gene. John chapter 8, verse 23. It says, and He said unto them, ye are from beneath, I am from above. Like I just mentioned, the word Superman means from above. All right, the word super means from above. Let me show you that. All right, because the scripture say it prove all things. You know, so hey, I'm gonna show you that that's what it means. All right, this is the Edom online for the word super. First rate, excellent, highest grade of goods, above, over, beyond. Okay?
Yeah.
So literally the word, when you say Superman, you're saying above man. Okay, so Yahushua is Superman because He said, you are from beneath, I am from above. What does He mean by that? That means that Yahushua is from the heavens.
Yeah.
Okay? His spirit comes from the heavens. He comes from directly, He's a direct source of the Most High.
That's 1 Corinthians 11.
Yep.
About the order.
The order.
Yahushua, man, woman, children.
Yep, that's it.
And that reminds me, that above right there reminds me of Deuteronomy 7:6. He said, I have set thee above all the other nations of the earth.
Yeah.
And even in Genesis, you have the sons of God. The sons of God weren't on the same level as the sons of men
Right.
and the sons of the wicked.
They had power.
Mhm.
There was a point on the earth where we actually had power. A lot of it may seem far-fetched, but that's what separated us and made us the sons of God. That's what made us the princes of the power, was because we commonly had superpowers.
Yeah. And as time progressed, we got gradually weaker.
We failed.
Weaker.
Yeah.
Weaker. It says you will fall away from your stature. Even our ages. Like Jake, I think it's a blessing to pass 21. It was
Right.
a time men lived to be the oldest man recorded 969 years old. Then it started getting cut 835, 710, 650,
Yep.
4. To Jake, you know, you hear about somebody being 100 years old, you like, damn.
They call people that's 50 years old, they call them old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's really a 50-year-old
It's young.
back then was really looked at like a teenager.
Well, Moses, when he was 120, it said his eyes didn't even dim.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fighting in a war.
Using the strength, yeah.
Man, you beat off, man, you hit your 50s, you damn it finna give up the spirit.
I got a piece of Isaiah 55.
You good, bro. I just want to make sure we finishing up our scriptures. John 8:23 says, and he said unto them, ye are from beneath, I am from above. Ye are of this world, I am not of this world, which goes to show you that Yahweh Shai, he brought back that ancient world Israelite spirit, because he was able to do and perform those miracles through faith. Okay, which that's how our forefathers were able to do these things. Okay, when you think about King David, he said, "You caused me to leap over a wall." King David jumped over a tall ass wall. I ain't talking about a gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clear the gate like from the police.
Yeah, like you just jump over a gate. Like, no, a wall, bro. How did he jump over a wall? That's spiritual power. How did King David kill a lion? It's hard to get a dog off your ass, let alone a lion. That's spiritual power. Okay, Benaniah slew a lion in a snowy pit. That's spiritual power.
Probably up to his ankles, man.
Yeah, you had one of King David's sons. They said his feet were like hind legs. So he was so fast. You had men that were probably running 50, 60 miles out like a cheetah.
Yeah, I spoke about how Joe out that swoop too.
Yeah, running fast. A cheetah can run up to 70 miles an hour. You had Israelite men that had the capabilities to run up to probably, if not faster.
Yeah, if our mind can think about doing these things in the condition that we in now, it's capable, man.
It's capable. Because if it wasn't possible, then it wouldn't be a thought process.
Yeah.
Okay, you had men in the scriptures that called down fire from heaven, that blinded armies, that slew. Man, come on, man. So when we talk about being not from this world, that's talking about being directly inspired by the Creator through His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, man. And that's why we say that spiritual powers is all throughout the Bible. The Bible is really a book of lamentations, mourning, woe, and spiritual powers.
That's right.
Okay,
That's what we hope on.
you can't read the Bible and not come to the conclusion that majority of this book is about having power.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's majority of what the book goes into. When you read the book of Joshua, the whole book of Joshua is going into spiritual power.
Yeah,
Okay, the book of Acts, spiritual power.
Faith.
Yep.
Faith is spiritual power. It's a gift from the Most High. They come from the heavens.
Yep. Wisdom. Wisdom is spiritual power. Certainly, the level of wisdom that King Solomon and certainly these great men had, it's like, man, this man is a powerful man with that level of wisdom. Okay? Who had the precept next? Go ahead, bro.
Isaiah chapter 55, verse 8. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord Yahweh." So, like, we're going into, you can't put the Lord in a box. And that's ultimately why a lot of people, don't understand the scriptures, because they looking at things like a regular human being, man.
Yeah. It says they have a zeal for God, but it's not according to knowledge.
Yeah.
They have a zeal, like Jake believe in God, but they don't have a knowledge of their power. They don't know what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is truly capable of,
Mhm.
because they don't go into the scriptures.
You want me to tell you what it boils down to? You got to look at Esau, man. Back in England and Britain, you had it was a language of the rich, elite Edomites, and it was a language that the commoners spoke. Really, a lot of our people think like peasants, man.
Yeah.
But us on this side having this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we think like kings, man.
That's why the scripture tell you that you gotta be reborn again.
I got a precept to go into this. All right, this is Judah, for which the bishop was calling for earlier. This is Judah chapter 4. The brother Barzal, Salaki. Judah chapter 5, verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before Yahweh Shem Yahushua their power, they prospered, because the Most High that hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles. Where's the sword?
What is the way? What was the way that we departed from?
The law,
Okay.
statutes, and
The
commandments.
law, statutes, and commandments. That's what gave us that power, righteousness.
Yep.
Okay, but when you separate yourself from that source of power, okay, you're then declaring that you don't want to be associated with the power. With the power.
Yeah, 'cause when we
With the
did
Creator.
that, the Lord hid his face from us.
Right, so on, bro.
So when the Lord, so when the Lord hid his face from us, we lost who we were, man.
Right.
That's right. Hey, because we supposed to be princes of the power. But who is the power? Yahweh. So if you separate yourself from Yahweh, then you can't say you are Israelite. You can't say you are a prince of the power if you're not following what the power told you to follow. So that's how these nations were able to get an advantage over us and completely strip us of those capabilities. But when we begin to come back, to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, okay, we begin to reestablish that power. Okay, so even us going to the highways and byways, that's a form of spiritual power. Okay, a lot of people just see us standing out there with garments on, but they don't understand that not many people in the world can do what we're doing.
That's mental fortitude, man.
Yeah, that's a small number that possesses this particular power. Because why? Because we're coming back under the law, statutes, and commandment of the power that govern the universe. Okay? So that's how these heathens were able to truly break us down, by separating us. Which is why, hey, if you fall out of this truth, you've separated yourself from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay?
You're calling Esau's device, man.
Mhm.
That's what the device is, to separate you from the power.
That's right.
Separate yourself.
Yeah, to sever from your power. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get into some accounts. Okay, bro, whatever accounts is on y'all brother's spirit, man, pull them out. Okay, go ahead, bro.
This is 2 Kings chapter 1, verse 9. Then the king sent unto him a captain of 50 with his 50, and he went up to him, and behold, he sat on the top of a hill, and he spake unto him, Thou man of God, the king hath said, Come down. And Elijah answered and said to the captain of 50, If I be a man of God, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him and his 50. Hey, that's just one spiritual account that the brothers quoted. You know that these things happen. These things are men of the Lord. He said, if I be a man of the Lord, man. Okay, he said the captain of 50 against the heathen coming down. That's these same times we expect to happen that we're living in. These are the things we're going to expect to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the scripture, John 14:12, we shall do greater works. We're gonna be doing greater works, man. That we read in these scriptures. These things are read for our learning. We're going to expect to do these things.
Yes.
All right, you people going to see it. And it's going to happen to magnify Yahweh Shem Yahushua's name.
That's right.
They're
Bro.
gonna be like, damn, who did that? Hey, Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yep.
You know, that's what you people about to see, man.
Yep.
You know?
Hey, and let me leak that because John saw something. He saw a prophecy that's going to happen in these times. This is Revelation 11:5. Yeah, it's true. It says, and if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth. So not only did this man have the capability of calling down fire from heaven at that instance, but what happened? He had to actually send up that petition first before the fire could come. Going into, that's why they had to separate us from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because that was the lifeline, prayer. And then from the prayer, you get the answer. Okay? That's the petition being approved and granted at that very moment.
That's
Okay.
true law of attraction. You know, Jake talks about law of attraction and you can attract whatever. Well, the only way that you can truly attract is through Yahweh Shem Yahushai, asking like we said, anything that you pray, you shall receive. So that's how we attract. That's how we get results and power is through asking the Most High. And guess what? The Lord does answer our prayers. Right now, it's not immediate, but soon it will be quick. Soon we're gonna get instant results.
That's right.
Because that's what we have is a sure account. It's a sure stability with when we pray. But you got Jake on the left hand side talking about manifestation. Man. All you gotta do is manifest and think about it and work towards that goal. To hell with all of that, man, because you got
Yeah, no, not to cut you off, bro, but I just want to speak on that. A lot of these people with that manifestation demon ain't manifesting shit.
shit, man. Manifest a burger in Jacob's trouble, man.
Talking
During the time of
about, talking about
famine.
speaking into existence, manifestation.
Yeah.
And your ass, you can't even win a 2K game.
God.
Let alone manifesting a career or manifesting a healthy marriage.
Yeah.
You can't even manifest well set hair. You are talking about the law of manifestation, track showing. Okay? Track slipping out
Can't
of the
get,
side of your head.
can't get the toolbox out of your bedroom.
Right. You know, weed glue.
pH balance is off.
Yeah, the pH balance is contorted. Okay? Your kid, you don't know where your son at. Okay? You run into a house, you go and you talk about manifestation, and your house so goddamn small, you gotta go outside to think. Okay?
I got this precept. This
So
is second.
don't talk about manifestation. You manifest through serving the spirit and power of Yahweh
Yeah,
Bashar.
recognizing him, man.
You
That's
got
the
to
key.
go, bro.
And this is a cut to those individuals that be. How did Noah get all the animals on the ship? Noah had spiritual powers, man. We were still in that power at that particular time.
This is 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 24. Matter of fact, I'm going to read up to verse 23. And he went up from thence unto Bethel. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 40 and 2 children of them. So this is a man that was vexed by little niggas, man. It's like, yo, man, the name of Yahweh Shai, man. Hey, destroy these little niggas. And the Lord sent 2 she-bears down. He didn't know how the Lord was going to deliver him or how he was going to bring forth that just. He knew that the Lord was going to bring forth judgment, man. That's the faith that we have to have in these days, man. That is a spiritual power. I ain't got to do nothing. All I got to do is just think it and pray. I like to pray is literally just to think, to say it out loud in your spirit. This brother ain't got to hear my prayer. This brother ain't got to hear my prayer. If a lion walked to this motherfucker, I know the Lord heard. That's all that matters, man. That's the times that we're coming into. So to hell with what a man can fathom. You have to believe in the impossibilities that having faith in the spirit can bring forth.
Yep. And if you don't have that true name, it's worth it.
It's finished.
That's what we were going to account the importance of knowing the true name, which is Yahweh by Yahweh Shah.
Yep.
Because a lot of these, manifest station demons, them people, they don't have the name.
Right.
So they really walking liars, man. Because they even a lot of them guys be having a huge following, man. They be having the whole congregations and going to like arenas and shit, speaking to the people about that bullshit, man.
That's right.
Yeah, burning white sage. And I forgot where the movie it was. It was on what's that show on Netflix with the Umbrella Academy. The guy, if brother seen the second season of that, it was a guy on there basically faking that he was at college, man.
I'm gonna finish this Revelation 11. Revelation 11:5. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Okay, so John the Revelator actually saw a vision of fire proceeding out of the mouth of the elect and burned up those that came, you know, to try to intrude. Okay, so that's about spiritual power. Okay, getting victory over the beast. That's spiritual power. Okay, because you're going to need to have access to Yahweh Shai in order to get the victory over the beast. Okay, meaning you're going to have to be delivered to witness it. That's a level of spiritual power, man. All right, and only those with faith is going to be delivered. All right, it ain't going to be no nigga that just you know, ended up in the chair like, hey man, I get up in here with y'all, man. Right. Like just oblivious to what just happened. You got the access point is you gotta have faith.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since you said victory, can I bring this up?
Yep.
This First Maccabees 3, I'm getting straight to the point. First Maccabees 3:19. For the victory of battle standing nigh, and the multitude of hosts with strength come from heaven. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, with the multitude of a host, they're talking about the armies. Okay. The strength of the battle don't come from having a large army. So it come from what?
It come from heaven.
Come from heaven, man. All right. And who is the father? Who is the father of the heavens? Yahweh. But you got to go through his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, in order to get that support, that access, that support, that help. Okay, that relief, that refuge, man. Okay, and it's gonna come by way of a miraculous incident to protect you from something that was physically impossible to escape. That's how you glorify and magnify the name of the Lord.
If I can add, that's why King David said, "I'm not trusting my foe. Need to come my sword saving."
Yeah. Kind of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Kind of look about it.
This is John chapter 11, verse. I'm gonna start with 36. Then said the Jews, "Behold, how he loved him." And some of them said, "Could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died?" Verse 38. Yahweh Shai, therefore, again groaning in himself, coming to the grave, it was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Yahweh Shai said, "Take ye away the stone." Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, "Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he that been dead 4 days, for he had been dead 4 days." Verse 40, Yahweh Shai said unto her, "Said I not unto thee that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of Yahweh?" Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, which is Lazarus. And Yahweh Shai lifted up his eyes and said, "Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me." And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come forth." And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Yahweh Shai said unto them, "Loose him and let him go." That's powerful, man. And that's what brothers is going to have. Yahweh Shai said the elect is going to do great things to him.
But who did he say loose him and let him go? He's speaking to death himself, man. He's like loose him and let him go. It's like, yo. And when he spoke, he was like, yo, he was just sleeping, man. Like that's the spirit that we gotta come in these days, man. It's like, yo, anything is possible through the spirit. And if the Lord ain't dealing with you, if you don't think that the Lord can deliver you up and beam you and change your body in the twinkling of an eye, man,
Right.
He ain't dealing with you, man. Because this is the point where we're coming to, man. Your faith is gonna be tested.
Yeah.
It is gonna sound like of the world, or it's gonna sound from on high, man. It's gonna sound like Yahweh Shai himself speaking.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna be beyond the fathomization or the thoughts of men. Why? Because it's coming from on high, man.
God. That's right. Hey, it's like the world would say, is incomprehensible.
Yeah, that's the better word. Incomprehensible.
God, you pulled that fathomization out of
Yeah, I had it. Yeah, you know, the spirit still, man.
It's spirit though, you know. I'm being funny, but yeah, the things that's going to be happening are they're going to be incomprehensible, man. A lot of people are just going to be just struck with the high level of curiosity
They ain't
and shock.
up their faith.
Yeah, the world going to be shocked.
Yeah.
They're going to deal with a shock factor. That's why the Lord said their heart's going to fail them for fear. Because what happens when you in a state of shock? It's just you get a super adrenaline rush, unlike anything else, to the point to where you can't even process what just happened.
Yeah.
Okay, it puts people in a state of mind like this is not happening right now.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes everything lock up, freeze up. They can't talk. They're overwhelmed with the scenario. That's what's going to happen.
In that moment, you become what? A witness, man.
You become a
You
witness.
become a witness.
And a lot of people,
Oh shit!
you know what? Shock is so heavy, you can die.
Yeah.
A lot of people die from shock.
Yeah.
Okay? You can literally die from shock because it releases a constant flow of dopamine or adrenaline, which attacks your organs.
Too much.
Too much of it makes your heart pump faster. Everything in your body start working at a very, very high, rapid pace to the point that it will shut down because you're shocked. Okay? You're in a state of shock. So these miracles that's going to be happening, these wonders and these majestic scenarios, is going to have people in a high state of shock.
Yeah.
When Leviathan come out, bro, people are going to get shocked
Yeah, because
to the point they're going to lose their life.
they're gonna say, they're gonna say, damn, I thought this was only stuff that happened in movies.
Hey, that's
You know what I'm saying?
Psalms 110 about how thy people shall be willing in the day of the power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, when
Somebody get it.
But to
Keep going.
see it.
Keep going.
I had it.
Oh, yeah, bring it out. Yeah, let the scripture speak.
It's Psalms 110:3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, and the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast to do of thy youth. So, hey, when these people start seeing the elect doing certain things, hey, that's when their faith is going to increase, man. Either your faith is going to increase, or like the bishop was speaking about, you'll go into that shock to where you just go die from seeing certain things, man. You're gonna die from seeing a brother just lay his hand on a person in a wheelchair and they just stand up. You're gonna die from seeing a chariot in the sky, you know? Or either your faith on the opposite end, you're gonna have faith, man.
Yeah. And so they're gonna be willing. Man, they're gonna be, man, you do a miracle in front of somebody, man, they're gonna do what do you need me to do?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Who did you pray to?
Yeah, you know, hey, just like you're gonna have control over that person because they're gonna be a disciple. They're gonna be your follower. They're gonna be like, man, you know what? Whatever you need, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Then should be known who are my chosen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Lazarus. Oh no, not Lazarus. Legion of Doom. Legion. He asked, "Can he follow you out, shot?"
Yeah.
Got all the skins off him, but the Lord said, "No, he couldn't."
I
God, the miracles.
got an accounting going.
I got the comment. You got it.
Okay, 2 Kings 4 and I'll start at 20. It says verse 20. And it says when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon and then died. And she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God and shut the door upon him and went out. And she called unto her husband and said, send me, I pray thee, one of the young men and one of the asses, that I may run to the man of God and come again. Let me see if I might have missed the point. So shoot. Go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, I'll bring this out. The book of Judges, this is chapter 15, verse 14. And when he came to Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him, and this is speaking of Samson. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arm became as flax that were burnt with fire.
So he's telling you, hey, it became brutal before him, man.
Right? And his bands loosed from off his hands, and he found a new jawbone of an ass and put forth his hand and took it. and slew 1,000 men
Mm.
therewith. So here it is, his people giving him up. Our people delivering him unto the enemy. And here it is, he's like, yo, man, he's kind of fucked up right now. I'm in a bad place. What did he do? He was thinking on Yahweh Shai. He understood that, hey, the judgment lands in the hands of the Heavenly Father. It don't land in men. Though men delivered me, that'll be on them. I'm worried about like how the Lord is dealing with me. What did he do? He sent up a prayer. Even though it don't say he sent up a prayer, but he always sent up prayer. This is a man of the Lord. You think he went without praying, man? You got to be able to extrapolate, man. So within that, what did he do? He broke the bands, picked up a job on his life. Hey, the Lord is with me. I'm gonna slew you individually. And what did he do? He slew 1,000 men. If 1,000 men was to surround this house right now, every brother coming out with their hands up. Why? Because we understand the weakness of the flesh. But through the spirit, if the Lord put his spirit on us, hey, brothers ain't finna surrender. And we in those times, we ain't finna surrender nothing, man. Just like Samson, just like Matthias, just like Judas. We ain't surrendering nothing, just like King David.
Yeah,
we understand the Lord is with us.
And your first instinct gotta be Lord, prayer. That's gotta be your first instinct. When situations arise, men of the Lord, their first instinct is prayer.
Go to. I found it. It's verse 30, 2 Kings 4:32. And when Elisha was coming to the house, behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed. And he went in therefore and shut the door upon them twain and prayed unto the Lord. And he went up and lay upon the child and put his mouth upon his mouth and his eyes upon his eyes and his hands upon his hands. And he stretched himself upon the child, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. And then he returned and walked in the house to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. Yeah, so hey, that's spiritual power. Another account. And this is Elisha.
Prayed over him. And if I'm not mistaken, also this same child that Elisha raised from the dead was the same. His mother, she was barren, and he blessed her womb that she could conceive him. Okay, so bros even have power to bless them, open the womb up, man. That's how much power the Lord has distributed to the children of Israel through prayer, man. Okay, and if I may read something real quick, okay, because when you go into the word mighty, in the Hebrew is a tazalon, but in the Greek is dynamis. Okay, and when you look up the word dynamis, it means the power to perform miracles. All right, this is Matthew 13:54. It says, and when he was come into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished and said, whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works? When you go and look up the word mighty in the Greek, it's dynamis. Let me play it. Okay, dunamis, which that's where you get dominate,
dynamic.
Yeah, or dominate, dynamics. Okay, all right, and it says strength, power, ability, inherent power, power residing in a thing by virtue of his nature, or which a person or thing exerts and put forth, power of performing miracles.
It said inherit.
Yep.
So that means that it's coming from, like you was going into super. I mean, it's coming from above. That's something that's given to you if you inherit it.
It says moral power and excellence of soul. The power and influence which belongs to rich and wealthy, power and resource arising from numbers, power consisting in or resting upon armies, forces, or hosts.
Yeah.
So when you look into the word mighty, it goes into the power of performing miracles, which is why the Israelites were known as a mighty nation. Okay? Because why? Because they had the power to do superhuman things on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Okay? And the other nations knew that, like, look, we fight the Israelites, man. They be running all fast. Some people be throwing big boulders. And you got some people out there know how to wield a sword, just like a expert swordsman, man. Some jakes out there jumping high. Imagine you fighting an army and everybody in your army is doing some extra, just being extra.
Well, David and Goliath, David, when he slew it, it went straight to sunk right in the middle of his forehead.
That was spiritual power.
That's precision. That's precision. You know,
Yes.
to a T.
And then not only that, it's like, but that mean that he had to really sling that rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like you could throw a rock and it just pop somebody upside the head and bounce off. And leave a knot. And you could throw it as hard as you could throw a baseball as hard as you can think you can throw it, and it's still not gonna go inside of somebody. So that means that King David had the power to throw a rock at the speed of a bullet.
Yeah.
Because it didn't come out like a regular overhand toss. This is a tall Hamite with of course he got a thicker skull. He's a giant, and he was able to sling stones that fast to where it stuck in his head. That's spiritual power. But a lot of people don't look at it like that because they just read the story and like, oh, David slew Goliath. But it's like
a fairy tale.
Yeah, but it's like, but how did this man take these stones and throw them so fast to where it killed him? That means that they had the power of a bullet.
When you think about the details of it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You got to. That's why when you read scriptures, you got to really get into it.
You got
like how Adam named it every single creature. You got that's detail.
That's detail. That's spiritual power.
Yeah.
He named deers, frogs, turtles.
Insects.
Like he named them all.
Yeah.
Think about Noah. How did Noah have the mind to call two of every beast, male and female, and get them to go into the ship and not fight and eat each other?
Right.
You know,
Details, man.
that's, and then let them back into the earth. That means that first of all, that means that the ark had to be humongous. Okay, so that's spiritual power that this man built that ark. Probably that ark was probably about the size of a skyscraper.
It's like it goes into what the Bishop Aratazar always say. You can't be an armchair Israelite, man. Like you just watch it from the sideline. You really gotta experience this. And when the Lord take you through certain experiences, like the brothers going into those intricacies, those specific details, that's when you start to see the spirit and the power of Yahweh Hashem. You know, like I know he was supposed to kill me, but yo, this was not supposed. I was supposed to be dead.
And that's
when the Lord is dealing with you personally.
That's right, man.
Those are the intricacies that the Lord had. You understand His power, then, man.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Let's get some more accounts.
I just got it.
Con, you got an account? Con, you got it, bro.
This is Matthew chapter 14, verse 13. When Yahushua heard of it, he departed thence by the ship into a desert place apart. And when the people had heard thereof, they followed him on foot out of the cities. And Yahushua went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed them. He healed their sick. And when it was evening, his disciples came to him, saying, now there was one spiritual power, healing the sick. This is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send the multitude away that they may go into the villages and buy themselves victuals. But Yahushua said to them, they need not depart, give ye them to eat. And they say unto him, we have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. He said, bring them hither to me. And he commanded the multitude to sit down on the grass, and took the 5 loaves and the 2 loaves, and looking up to heaven, he blessed and brake, and gave the loaves to his disciples, and the disciples to the multitude. Like all they did was just send up prayers amongst the little things that they had, the little items that they had, the food, and they dispersed it amongst 5,000 people. I mean, if you read that whole account, but that's basically what it's going to. And it says they did eat all, and they did all eat and were filled, and they took up of the fragments that remained 12 baskets full.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blessing like spiritual.
Yeah, that's think about you being able to take a small amount of food and stretch it to the point where you're feeding 1,000 people.
Yeah,
It's power. I can't even really fathom how that was done to this day.
Yeah.
I still haven't been able to fathom like how did Yahushua do that? How did he turn water to wine? You know, how did he do these things, man? It's incomprehensible to the flesh, but we know in our spirit that it's possible. And that's where the power lies at, okay? In faith, knowing in your spirit that this is possible. You gotta believe it, man. and understand that these miracles and the relief that we're going to receive in these times is going to be monumental. That's why the scripture say, "I will get thee fame and praise in the land where it was said, ye are not my people." The reason why do people praise people or look at people as famous people?
What they can do.
Because of what they have.
And what they have.
Which they have what? A level of power. All right, money is power. So when you got a lot of money, you get fame. Okay, because you have power. All right, when you have a military, you get a level of prestige because you have power.
Mighty.
So when it's mighty. Okay, so when you get it, when the Lord began to do, supernatural things centered around you, people are going to wonder what manner of man is in. Okay, you guys, I see you.
This is Daniel chapter 3, verse 26.
That's the
Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fury furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire, and the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was a hair of their head seen, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
I want you to think about this. Not only did they not get burnt, they didn't even smell like smoke.
That's crazy.
You gotta think about that clothes there.
Like everything, nothing was touched. Like now, they didn't get burnt.
Right.
They didn't, sweat, but they didn't even smell like the fire, bro. That just go to show you, like, the Lord protected them from anything that even had any type of posed any type of threat to them.
Never been a force field.
Okay,
Right.
they didn't even smell. They didn't even get a inkling of a hair. Didn't even get burnt. Man.
Can I bring out this precept that's backing up?
Yes.
What I'm saying?
You got to think.
Yeah.
Job 5:20. Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yet in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Yes. So my brothers is going into, and when those 3 brothers was in that fiery furnace, man, they didn't feel nothing, man. That's spiritual power, man. So in that day, and Lord willing, we be those men. And certain men are going to be put in that same situation. You may get shot, a bullet might go straight through your arm, and there ain't no wound or nothing there.
No wound, you feel it.
Yeah, no wound, you don't feel it. You're not even fazed by it. You just keep just being in the spirit, man.
Yeah, well,
Slow down.
you can. This is not, of course, it's not biblical.
No, yeah,
But no, I'm not talking about what you're saying. I'm about to say something, but it's not biblical or it's not taught. But in the history, they say that John the Revelator, they put him in the brazen bull, and they try to cook you alive.
Yeah.
And they said that the reason why he was sent in exile on the island of Patmos was because they couldn't kill him, because they killed the rest of the 12.
Yeah,
They killed them all. But why didn't they kill him? They said they tried to kill him, but they couldn't kill him. So they put him in exile on the Isle of Patmos, man. Okay, and the reason it was set up like that was, of course, so he could receive the visions of the Book of Revelation, so that we have them today. So that was a sign, which me personally, it makes sense when you think about it. It's like, okay, well, why didn't they, why don't the history say that they killed? Why did they just put him in exile? Okay, well, it's probably because he couldn't die. They said they put him in the bowl and tried to boil him, and he didn't cook. So this is just, like I said, this is in the history. It ain't nothing that's biblical. But the point of the matter is that, hey, when certain things come upon the men of the Lord is going to make a way to escape.
Plausible.
Yep, plausible, bro. The Lord is going to make a way for brothers to get out of things, man. Serious situation. I'm talking about you might be in a firing squad. They might have you, lined up against the wall, getting ready to gun you down with AKs. And then as soon as they start shooting, every bullet is bouncing off you. Isaiah 54.
I finish it off though.
Go ahead.
It says, and blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies, that they may not serve nor worship any power except their own power. You know, and that really lets us know how strong our faith has to be, because fire was scared of shit out of somebody. I just had to burn while cooking early in the week. I'm like, man, we ain't trying. That fire is something serious, bro. You know, it's something serious. It lets you know how sincere and real our faith has to be in those times.
Yeah, every time, you know, I'm pretty sure, because I do this a lot. Every time you cook and you open up that oven, you be like, yo, man, I ain't trying to feel that heat.
You step back.
You be like, yo, I ain't trying to feel that heat, man.
Yeah, well, if you make a mistake and grab the pan hit the your finger hit a little piece of the pan.
Yeah.
You ready to compromise the whole meal? Drop this shit. I had to figure something else out. You get burnt. You get ready to let go of the whole pan. You know, you season it up, thawed it out. You know, put everything in it, cooked it, and that heat gets so hot, you ready to compromise your whole meal. They're going to show you how hot that fire going to be and how much deliverance we're going to need, man. And even the build up to the missiles. We're going to run into so many life-threatening moments. If you crumbling now over small petty stuff, then how you gonna get over the big Griselda Blanca?
Yeah.
You know, the beast.
Yeah.
Mr. Cooper and you know, Mr. Robotnik.
Right.
Off of Sonic.
These people shaking and shivering from the COVID-19. You thinking like, yo, this gonna get way worse than that.
Well, Jake get dumped, and they get ready to go on a goddamn killing spree.
Mm-hmm.
How you can't even get over a breakup, but you think you're gonna get over the time of trouble? You can't even get over getting got on or corrected, but you're gonna get over the time of trouble. You know, you gotta. That's why the scripture say, "Gird up the loins of your mind, man." I would demand of thee, meaning it's gonna be demanded of you to do certain things, man. It's demanded of you to have a strong mind. That's why we gotta be princes of the power. When the men of the scripture were men of strong minds, man. This weak-minded bull crap is effeminate, man. Okay, this is the nature of the woman that's polluted the men, man. Okay, we was tough. We were tough men. You okay? And get all up in arms about getting corrected, man. You know, the reason, the reason I had to do that, man. What's that? Hey, man, just take it, man. You know, be in a strong mentality, a strong mindset, man. Accountability. Okay, we in the times where the Lord gonna demand of us, man. He gonna demand you to be a man.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 2nd Ezra 10-33. Love for sure. We in the time where real men gonna have to step up, man. And that weak stuff, man, go out the window, man. Weak shit get you killed on the battlefield, man. Go ahead, bro.
2nd Ezra 10:33. And he said unto me, stand up manfully, and I will advise you.
Yeah, because Ezra was receiving an abundance of revelations by the angel Uriel, and it was messing with him. But Uriel said, hey, you got to stand up manfully, and I will advise you. Okay, you can't. If somebody is overwhelmed with emotions, you can't speak any type of logic or reasoning into them because they're not composed. They're letting they're like women. Whenever you try to calm somebody down, like listen, I'm trying to tell you, and their emotions just keep overriding. I can't tell you nothing. I'm trying to give you logic and reason about how to handle the situation, but you're just allowing your emotions to run rampant. That's why the Lord said, hey, stand up manfully, man. Men have to be men of logic, reason, and composure, and faith, understanding.
Grab the loins of your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep, go ahead, bro.
The 2nd Timothy 1:7. For the Most High, and not give us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind.
Yeah. Not scared. Why would we be scared of something that we should be preparing for? Don't be scared. Be prepared.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's that sound mind, which is mental stability.
Yes.
You know, being able to being faced with situations that the average person would fold in.
Mm-hmm.
But you keeping your composure, keeping calm. The first thing they tell you to do in any emergency is keep calm.
Yeah.
You know, breathe,
Calm
relax.
down, slow down your breathing.
Mhm.
Yep.
Hey, that's why Isaiah said, "Fear not that one, Jacob."
Yeah.
Call us
I
one.
will help you.
I will help thee. I will save thee.
Man, get that. Isaiah 42, was that 42:1?
And it's gonna look, you know, it's gonna be a spectacle. It's gonna be a spectacle to see how the elect keeps calm in certain situations. People are like, whoa, like, how are you going through this? And you just aren't even phased.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the spirit. It's gonna be that faith. We know that at the end of the day, the Lord has a support. Whatever is the current situation is not gonna be the end of it. You
Yeah.
got
I got a piece of
Isaiah
real quick.
44.
I can back you up real quick.
Yeah.
This is being poised. You know, this is Psalms 46 verse 10. Be still and know that I am the Most High. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. Yeah, that's it, man. Being poised, being calm. You know, that's what me and the Lord are gonna be doing when shit's hitting the fan. We're gonna be calm, cool, and collected.
Hey, think about this, man. Game time moments. Okay, every you know, let's say it's 20 seconds left on the clock, and you awake. The other team just scored. The crowd is going crazy. Okay, everything around you is chaotic. Their bench is jumping up and down. The crowd is going in. The music, dun dun, dun dun, dun dun. You know, and you got the ball. You got to take the ball up the court slow. Look at the clock. Don't let the distractions around you throw off your judgment. Take your time. Run your reads, run your plays, so that you can make a good calculated decision. That's how we have to be when all hell breaks loose. Still, relax, calm down. This is a game time moment. Okay?
Stable.
Be stable. Understand, remember, scriptures. You ain't gonna have a Bible, you ain't gonna have a blue letter. Okay? You're gonna have this. That's why this has to be connected to the Bible and the blue letter. Okay? So you can bring it out in these game time moments. Oh, I know what to do now.
Yeah.
I know what to do in this situation. I know what to do in this moment. I gotta believe. I gotta believe in this moment, man.
Lord.
The scriptures say, let this mind be in you. The scriptures say, settle it therefore in your heart. The scriptures say, when trouble arise, the Lord's going. So these are all the things that you're gonna have to run through your mind, and you're gonna have to be poised and still, so that your brain can actually process what you need to do in that moment through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai.
that's how you make rational decisions. You got
Just what they say, like you quoted Isaiah 33:6. You know, me and Tasman, we were talking on last night. You know, wisdom, knowledge should be the stability of the time. You go to the word stability in Hebrew, Amawana. Then goes back to the root of it is Amawana, meaning faith. So our faith in Yahweh Shai gonna keep us stable. Man.
Because when you're faced with let's say you have wisdom and knowledge, you can have wisdom and knowledge without the spirit, but let's say you're facing a situation, all that wisdom and knowledge, if you don't got the spirit, that's gonna leave you. You know what I'm saying? So the wisdom and knowledge has to be rooted in Yahweh Shem Shai, and that's the support. You know, because a lot of people, they'll be faced in certain situations. Jake is knowledgeable, but when it actually comes down to being in that situation, they're gonna fold because they ain't gonna have the sound mind like we're going
They
to.
don't it boils down to Jake don't have the experience, man. Like Jake, you can want to look like a fighter all day. I can love watching fighting, but if you ain't never been in a fight, hey, you ain't finna become Muhammad Ali in that fight.
I got a precept going into what the bishop was saying on the word still. This is Psalms chapter 46, verse 10. It says, be still and know that I am Yahweh.
That's
It says, be still, man.
We just brought that out.
That's okay. Now let me go into it. To the interlinear of it. It says to be. It says and be still. It says relax. So imagine the Jake take the hey, yo, relax, dude.
Yeah.
I put you in this situation plenty of times.
Relax.
Be cool. I got you. Matter of fact, you know I got you. So just relax, man. Be cool and just allow this moment to come to you.
Hey, like in boxing, when Jake start getting them hands put on him, what they start doing? They start trying to change up their game. Like, don't stick with your game. You got to stick with your game. Even though Jake might be landing, the last thing you want to do is switch up your game plan. Stick to it because something eventually is gonna land. Next thing you know, they start throwing wild haymakers. Footwork is all compromised like a mug.
But that shows you a true boxer, his true nature. He forsake all fundamentals just to go back to what he knew.
Because
What
he's
he trusted.
frustrated.
He's frustrated. That shows you really don't have faith in Yahweh.
The scriptures say, "Have I not commanded thee?"
Mm.
So, hey, for us to have that courage and belief on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Lord really commanded us to have it.
Yeah.
So see, to the program.
Yeah.
I'll finish this off. This is Psalms 46 and 10. It says, be still and know that I am Yahweh. How do you know that this is the Heavenly Father? Through those experiences, through the things that Yahweh Shem Yahushua take you through those minute, very small steps that he walked you towards faith. That, now, hey, it's this big. Continue. It says, I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. Not Yahushua said that we were going to be joint heirs and joint rulers with him. So just as well as Yahushua going to get that glory, so are you. So what you got to do, you just got to be still, man. Allow this glory to come to you. You're going to hit the shot, man. Take it.
Evangelize yourself.
Yeah, composure, poise, to be
It's
poised.
like when Peter, when Yahushua summoned him to walk on the water. All right, when it became turbulent, he got worried.
He got shook up.
He got shook up, and then guess what? He started to say, and then Yahushua rebuked him.
Yeah, that was set up in the spirit, so we can learn from it.
Yeah.
Like when tribulation arise, calm down, because I'm right there with you.
Yeah, man,
You know?
time of trouble.
Yeah, because that's why he used Peter as an example, which Peter was the one that he was going to use to build the church upon. So he had that set up and written about, so we can go into the scriptures and remember that when it got rocky, that boisterous men, Peter, he began to doubt. So in the times to come, let's not waver, let's not doubt, just have that faith, because Yahushua was right there with him, but he didn't know it. Yahushua was right. He was like, hey, look, come on, come on,
Don't
walk
worry.
out here.
Stay calm.
And then, there was a distance, between Peter and Yahushua, and when Peter began to sing, it was like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
I'm right here with you. So that's how we have to be.
Yeah.
Relax. Everything around us is going to be going down. It's going to be going digital, man. But it's, oh my God, what the fuck? It's like you warned the people about this.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't be that's like you blowing a trumpet and when you blow it, you get scared of it. You blowing it, okay? But then you blowing it like you got caught off guard. Like, what? You the one blowing the trumpet.
And that's the spirit, because I used to do swim lessons. A lot of people have fear of the water,
That's a spirit.
and I tell them you gotta relax. A lot of kids be fearful. The first thing you want them to do is to relax. You gotta show them, look, you gotta stay calm, relax. You know what I'm saying? Because when people start to panic, that's when you drown.
Yep. Hey, and that's what happens when you get caught in the current. Well, majority of people, they die. You could be a good swimmer, and you can die in the current, because why? When the current comes and it's pulling you away, the first thing they do is they panic.
Go against it.
They try to go against the flow of the current. When in all actuality, you're supposed to swim away out of the current. Okay, and if the current is pulling you out, you're supposed to swim. If it's coming this way, you're supposed to swim that way, out of the current.
Yeah.
But they swim against it, and it tires them out, and then they drown.
Yeah.
It ain't because they can't swim; it's because they fighting against the flow. Okay, but if you understand how to move out of these currents and these paths, hey, you'll figure out how to move in the spirit.
And that Israelite that the brother's talking about that swimming against the currency, you Jakes that's out here, you know the man, you know the breakdowns, but hey, if you ain't trusting that Yahweh Shem Yahushua can do the impossible for you in that day, you're gonna find yourself fighting against the current, man.
Yep,
You're
that's
gonna
right.
drown.
That's right. And we close out on that one.
This Luke 21, I start 16. And you should be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. And you should be hated of all men for my name's sake. But that shall not a hair of your head perish. In your patience possess your souls.
That's right. Hey, in your patience possession yourself. Hey, and in these times now, hey, the scriptures wrote about a remnant. is going to be preserved from the said perils. So, hey, if you want to be of those that are going to be preserved, start now. Start now. While you got the time, fix it. Put yourself in the mentality. Okay, the scripture say, therefore, put on as the elect. Meaning, act like it, man. Act like you want it. Okay? And how you move, everything you do, your energy, your vibe when you're around brothers, your mindset has to be geared towards faith. You gotta have a faith mindset, a victory mindset. All right. You might. All right. Let's say you don't know how to play a video game. All right. But you gonna learn. You gonna try to get better every game. Okay. You gonna try to go through the necessary projections and be like, all right, I was better than the last game. Okay, because you put in yourself in a mind frame of winning. Okay, outdoing your last performance. Okay, so yeah, you have shortcomings, but it ain't about the shortcomings; it's about the bounce back, man. Yeah, you failed, but how did you bounce back? Yeah, you got blocked. Okay, you went up for a layup and got blocked, but did you go down? Did you drag your feet on defense, or did you hustle back? Okay.
Fall 7 times to get it back up again.
So bounce back in the spirit and lock into the spirit of faith. It's getting ready to go down, man. So with that, we're gonna give all praises, all glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
All right, double honors once again to the apostle who loves the great millstone. Peace, safety, many blessings to the elect men, women, children. Until the next lesson, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.